naming acids with nomenclature have certain specific rules depending on binary or not binary. So the first thing to determine when you have an acid and you have to name them, or if you're given the name and write the formula, is what type of acid do you have? Do you have a binary acid, meaning contains only two elements? Or do you have an oxyacid, meaning you have hydrogen with an oxyanion, multiple nonmetals together, multiple oxygens? Best example here would be something like chlorine and chlorate. For example, HCl. This is binary, two elements together, hydrogen and chlorine neutral compound. So you have to add the prefix hydro and then chloric, the ending IC, acid. Now what if you have HClO3? Now you have an oxyacid. You see that chlorate is your base polyatomic ion, so you do not write hydro, you just write chloric acid because it comes from the ClO3 minus, which is chlorate. Now what if we write HClO4? Now remember, for the rules of oxyanions, when you add the oxygen, you have perchlorate. So you indicate that with the acid. No hydro because it's not binary, but you can't just write chloric because you have the addition of an oxygen. So you don't change the ending, just like you didn't change the ending with the anion, but you add the prefix. So perchloric acid. Now two more rules, just like with the oxyanions. Now if you lose an oxygen, you change just the ending, no prefix. So same rule applies. You have to change the ending when it comes to the acid. So if you have HClO2, you can't just write chloric. It's not binary. You don't write hydro. You wouldn't add per because you didn't add an oxygen, but you lost one single oxygen, so you change the ending to an OUS. So chlorous acid. Then this could be one last oxygen and you write hypo, just like you would write for the anion hypochlorite. If we had HClO, neutral compound, it's an acid, you would write hypo because you lost more than one oxygen with the same ending as the ite, chlorous acid. Now the difference between all of these is the rules of the loss of oxygen or addition of oxygen applies, and whether it's binary or not. Now let's do some examples. Let's say we have HF. Now this is binary, so you would write hydrofluoric acid. What about H3PO4? Well, I know that PO43 minus is called phosphate. So H3PO4, it's not binary. I'm just going to write phosphoric acid. What about H2SO3? Well, I remember from memorizing my polyatomic ions that SO4 2 minus is called sulfate. Here I have the 2 for the hydrogen, so SO3 was minus 2. Well, if I lose an oxygen here, this would be called sulfite. Oh, that's exactly the polyatomic that's there. It's just lost an oxygen. So I would write sulfurous acid. And these would apply to any other examples that you would see, whether binary or not, with any oxygens lost or gained. And you have to make sure that it's a neutral compound to be an acid because it's dissolved in water, creating just hydrogen ion. If it has a charge, it is not an acid.